So we have news regarding D'Angelo Russell's situation in Minnesota, and Marc Stein suggests that numerous rival teams expect the Timberwolves to try to trade D'Lo this offseason. And in this video, we're going to be discussing the mock trade that would send D'Angelo Russell to the New York Knicks this offseason. And the reason to why the Knicks would pursue someone like D'Angelo Russell would be because of his expiring contract at $31 million per year. So his contract will be expiring by next year's offseason. And another major reason to why New York should target D'Angelo Russell this offseason if he's available would be because it would solve their point guard problems. And last season, Russell averaged about 18 points, 3 rebounds, and 7 assists per game, while also shooting about 41% from the field, 34% from three-point range, and 83% from the free throw line. So his efficiency is not the best, but it's worth it to pursue him because of his 7 assists per game that he averaged last season for Minnesota. And he's also an additional scorer to the team, which definitely does not hurt. But in terms of his defense, he's definitely not a bad defender at 6'4", and he averaged 1 steal per game last season. So with all that being said, now let's get into the mock trade that would send D'Lo to New York. So in this mock trade, the New York Knicks would receive point guard D'Angelo Russell, and Minnesota would receive Julius Randle and Alec Burks. So for New York, this trade is pretty solid because they do remove Julius Randle's long-term contract, which would ultimately free up some room for Obi Toppin to be the starter. And this will be a big decision for the New York Knicks this offseason to decide who they will choose for the future with Julius Randle and Obi Toppin. Because at this point, we already know that it's clear that Tom Thibodeau does not like playing Julius Randle and Obi Toppin together. And with Obi Toppin's great development to end last season, the Knicks will need to decide between him or Julius. And I personally believe that the Knicks will actually trade Julius Randle this offseason. And this mock trade idea could be a possibility for Randle. And with this trade, New York would actually find their solution to their point guard problems, and that would be at least for the next year. So the starting lineup for the Knicks next season would be D'Angelo Russell at the point guard position, as well as Emmanuel Quickley at shooting guard, RJ Barrett at small forward, Obi Toppin at the power forward position, and Mitchell Robinson at center, assuming that they resign him this offseason. And the bench would consist of players like Derrick Rose, Deuce McBride, Jericho Sims, Cam Reddish, and Quentin Grimes. And another possible trade idea involving D'Angelo Russell would be for the Knicks to trade players like Evan Fournier, Burks, or Walker, and maybe Nerlens Noel. But then with that trade, New York would likely need to include some picks as well. And then they would preserve Julius Randle for possibly trading him for a player like Donovan Mitchell as well. And for the Timberwolves, this trade could make some sense as well because they would receive Julius Randle, who could play next to Karl Anthony Towns, who is his very close friend. And as the second or third option on the team behind players like Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards, Julius Randle could definitely play well in Minnesota. And Alec Burks or Kemba Walker could fill up the Timberwolves' position at point guard. And Minnesota's starting lineup for next season would be Patrick Beverley at the point guard position, as well as Alec Burks or Malik Beasley at shooting guard, Anthony Edwards at small forward, Julius Randle at power forward, and Karl Anthony Towns at the center position. So personally, I am intrigued with this type of a move if the Knicks would actually be able to preserve Julius Randle for a trade like Donovan Mitchell. So let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think of this potential trade. And if you did enjoy this video and want to see more New York Knicks news and updates like these, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you're new, and it's been KNYT here and I'm out. Peace.